Mike Butcher with TechCrunch, and I'm here with Jeff Schumacher, who's the head of BCG Digital Ventures. Now, you guys actually haven't really been very public in the kinds of things that you've been doing over the last couple of years, but you're sort of coming out of the gate. I think it'd be interesting for the TechCrunch audience to hear exactly what it is you guys are up to at the moment.
Yeah, we're quite quiet. We don't really need to market. We're a wholly owned subsidiary of BCG. So we sit with, we are integrated but yet separate. And so we're a separate partnership, and we're a corporate venture capital firm. We're unique in everything we build if it doesn't exist in the market, or invest if it does exist in the market, has a corporate exit. That's the thesis of the company. We also are very focused on just a small subset of corporate entities like large corporations, so we only have a very small subset of partners, about 100 of those, and that's where we work.
Corporate venturing has a sort of a bit of a mixed reputation, doesn't it? Especially when you talk to professional VCs and VC funds. Why do you think that is, and what's different about how you guys operate?
Well, I think because, corporate venturing, if you think about it, what it is a corporation goes and creates a fund for themselves. They make a few investments, and I think they become challenged with those, because one, those investments that you make, you need to get them to scale, because those corporations are at scale. They're large, they're at scale, and they need to learn to kind of go back to the idea of 0 to 1. Peter Thiel talks about that in his book. And being able to translate between that at scale entity to that brand new entity sometimes becomes a challenge. And I think second is also finding those things to make investments in, getting the right deal flow. And those are kinds of two things that we solve. One, we get those investments to scale and then put them back in those corporate entities where they can flourish. And we also have access to very great deal flow. So those two things help us kind of buck that trend.
Yeah, I see. You got. We chatted earlier about this, and you've got a rather interesting theory about the amount of capital locked up in corporate entities. Perhaps you could expand on it.
Well, yeah, and if you think about what is DV, we're in essence a conduit, right? There's over $3 trillion parked on global corporations' balance sheets. That is a heck of a lot of capital that's locked up that we help activate. And then there's, 20,000 funded startups or 50 million bootstrapped. So we become a conduit to basically translate that capital and put it to use in the market. And where, our thesis is, and I believe my thesis is that the next evolution of growth is going to come from corporates. Because they have that capital and they have those assets, and putting those assets to use while finding new market investments will create new growth. You can create new economies, and you can create, you can in essence change the world. So.
You also have been talking about how with the bubbles starting to burst a little bit, the slowdown in the market, oil prices, plus perhaps the slowing down of the whole unicorn phenomenon. Do you think that's going to improve the market for you guys, the way you operate?
Yeah, I think if you look at the market right now, you've got a number of people out there saying that we're approaching 2008, at least in the IPO space, in the startup space. So, and you look at, if you say a bubble, well, what does a bubble look like? Well, in 2013, I think there was just under 40 unicorns, and now today we have over 200, right? And we have over 20 decacorns, over $10 billion valuation. And so now you're seeing a lot of those write downs happen, right? You're seeing Fidelity come out and make some corrections. You're seeing these startups raise down rounds. Yeah. Sorry, long day here in Davos. Yeah. And so all of that has a contagion effect, right? It affects all of the other startups, and VCs are vicious. They run on a portfolio theory. So they're going to say, hey, I'm going to starve these to feed these because these are my better ones. And that creates a pretty difficult time for a lot of startups. In our model, we're hedged in that we do two things, right? We create assets that have market value, but they also drive that corporate asset in some way, so that's strategic asset value. So I have two values that I get to play with. If market value goes down, I still have strategic value. If market value goes up, I still have strategic value. That gives us, our model is insulated to the market conditions, and therefore we grow through acquiring a lot of broken startups. and we offer a new exit path for them that they otherwise wouldn't have.
Interesting. You might have a few phone calls in the next few weeks then.
We're already getting some.
So finally, you're here at Davos at the World Economic Forum, and so are we. And what brought you here in particular? What could you get out of Davos?
I think Davos for us is a great opportunity because we're a corporate venture capital fund, so all the corporations are in essence potential partners for us, and there's a lot of startups here too. So we're actually becoming that conduit at Davos, and I believe Davos over time will be an excellent platform to match corporates with startups, and that's why it's a perfect fit for us.
Very interesting. Well, Jeff Schumacher from BCG Digital Ventures, thanks very much for coming, talking to TechCrunch.
Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it. Thanks, Mike. Appreciate it.